A year after the murder of her mother, a teenage girl is terrorized by a new killer who targets the girl and her friends by using horror films as part of a deadly game. Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review, and it's on the movie Scream. This movie came out in 1996. It has had 11 wins and 11 nominations. The main cast of this movie and these are most of the actors in this movie. Not all, but most. Drew Barrymore, Walter Jackson, Kevin Patrick Walls, David Booth, Carla Hatley, Neve Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Lawrence Hecht, Courtney Cox, W. O. Brown, Rose McGowan, Lois Saunders, David Arquette, Joseph Rip, Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, C.W. Morgan, Liev Schreiber, which really wasn't there all that much, just a few minutes, and Henry Winkler. Not even a few minutes, it was just like a few seconds even, here and there. But he's there a lot more in the second movie, I do remember that, and yeah, so I wanted to mention him in this movie because he was there for a few seconds every now and then. Alright, so my thoughts about this movie. The actors would be the best part of this movie. It's all the actors did a great job all around. I have no complaints about the acting whatsoever, from Neve Campbell to David Arquette to Courtney Cox. I love Courtney Cox's acting in this, especially in the Scream movies. Yeah. And I do know Rose McGowan. She was there for a while, long while in the movie. I know her. I had no idea that she was in this movie until my brother mentioned it to me, because I only got introduced to her in the original TV show of Charmed. Yeah, not the newer series of Charmed, no. The original series of Charmed. She came in the third or the fourth season of Charmed. And I thought she was the best one there at that time. Alright, so we're talking about this movie. Yeah, I was just trying to talk about the actors. Like I said, nothing wrong with the acting at all. Great overall. Story. So this movie came out around the time when they were trying to rejuvenate the whole franchise, because it kind of went downhill in the early 90s. And yeah, and for a very good reason. There wasn't that many great horror movies out there, and there weren't many great horror movies that were coming out, I should say. And even when this movie came out, not many great horror movies were coming out. So this was trying to rejuvenate the horror franchise at that time, and the story, it was, for its genre, of course it's a horror movie, but it's a horror slasher movie. So rephrase that. It's a horror slasher whodunit movie, if you will. Yeah. And for me personally, it's a decent plot. Decent. But it was written very well. Very well. And I gotta give kudos to Wes Craven, I believe it was. He's a director, and he did a great job on the direction of the acting. it's the director's job to do that. So yeah, kudos to him. Storyline decent, like I said. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. The plot wasn't great. It was decent, but written very well, like we said. So yeah, no. So that's how I feel about the storyline. Graphic wise, I have to say the graphics are great for its time. Great for its time. And now I have to talk about something else. It's a horror movie, which means there should be a skill factor. Is there a skill factor? When I first saw this movie, I only jumped out. I remember jumping out of my seat only at one time, and I don't remember which part it was. To be honest, I don't remember which part it was when I jumped out. Well, I jumped out of my seat. All these years later, it doesn't. All these years later, I find now, watching it for another time, there wasn't really a skill factor. Not for me, anyways. And it's probably because I've seen so many horror movies. So many horror movies. Yeah, and so sometimes for certain things that people might get skilled about, might get jolted, might jump out of the seat, doesn't really do that for me anymore. It really happens for me because I'm used to it. But yeah. But that being said, I couldn't take my eyes away from the screen. I wasn't looking around. I was always paying attention to the screen this time around, and I was not checking the time. I was not checking the time. I actually very much enjoyed this movie for what it's worth, and for me personally, is it a great horror movie or is it a bad horror movie? It's not great, but it's not bad. I would have to say it's somewhat in between. I know some people would say it's a good movie. It's really good movie. It's a very good movie. I haven't really heard anyone call this movie a crappy movie at all. At all. Now, I personally very much enjoy this movie. I love it. Not great. So that being said, what rating would I have to give this movie? A 7. A 7 out of 10. It was a very good movie. A very good movie. Yeah, that's my rating. Now, should I go into spoilers? Talk about my most favorite part of the movie? Why not? Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! My most favorite part of the movie would have to be would actually have to be one of the kills. I'm really sorry to say that. I'm not really one for watching the kills. I watch it for like story or the acting, and most horror movies are pretty much crappy when it comes to that. But sometimes I don't mind saying that one of the kills actually was one of my most favorite parts. It goes to show that, yeah. It was the garage scene. Trying to crawl out of the little doggy door in the garage door type thing. That would be my best, my favorite part. And I hate to say that because I'm not one for kills, like I said. But if I were to pick a part, that would be the part. Anyhow, I want to thank you all for taking time to watch. And if you love this movie or didn't love this movie, you can let me know in the section down below. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. I always love your comments, whether you love the movie or hate it. You can like this video if you like this review, and you can subscribe to my channel if you love my content. So thank you all for taking time to watch, and join me next time for another movie review I tend to do soon, because I'm always doing movie reviews now. I am out.